actually do something new for yourself. Yes, well, now heading straight into our on-ground discussions, and now this rotating around technology innovations, but now this time around it's still innovation, but within the telecommunication sector. Of course, we know that the communication pillar is one of the very, very key aspects, and actually the bloodline of the business, communication. You transfer this here and there. That's something very key. And now we want to take a look at, of course, we see that telecom experts and the United Nations Development Fund, of course, launched the Open Application Programming Interface, of course, to support innovators to accelerate digital financial inclusion. Now, Chris Bairemusi, Minister of ICT and National Guidance, actually says that to leverage technology and innovation in the request to drive financial empowerment is a smart approach towards financial inclusion, and of course, right straight away from the very grassroots. Well, let's first of all get into this discussion, then we shall be returning to wrap this up.
On an event like this, where we come to launch and open the open APIs, you continue to deepen areas of financial inclusion and also provide all of us an opportunity to do all these transactions. At one point, there was a report saying that the money we hold on mobile money accounts, I think it still remains true, was more than what is held in the commercial banks, showing you this kind of revolution which has come with the technologies. And therefore, we appreciate Airtel Uganda. We appreciate all of you, and as government, we commit that we shall continue to support you and provide an enabling environment which makes you be able to succeed in as far as coming up with these kind of products is concerned. Today, we speak of the fourth industrial revolution. And my concern as a minister responsible for ICT is that what do we need to do as a country to move very fast to catch up with the rest of the world, where technology has taken shape and is driving most of the processes and what goes on. Of course, when we speak of the fourth industrial revolution, it means we have had the first, the second, the third. And when you look at where Uganda and Africa is, we are still grappling with even accessing technologies which were part of the first, second, and third revolutions. If you talk of, for instance, the discovery of electricity,
yes, well, that is the launch of the API application up there, which is quite very necessary for, yes, innovations and innovators, and to execute out quite so many different related activities. Joram, before we get into the deepest insight of this, the telecommunication sector in Uganda, of course, seeing that we have tried as a country to have our own, though it may not really have gone the best, and of course it was replaced, the Uganda Telecom. Yeah. But now, of course, we've had quite other players coming into here. Orange, it didn't really last long. We've seen, I think it's, Orange. It's Airtel that has been changing over the years, changing names. We see MTN players. Well, there is quite a good competition, but I still feel like we need better. Since we are heading into a world of internet, the internet age, artificial intelligence and all this, really need a hyper internet. And when I try to relate all this with the new aspects that are coming in, the 5G, well, it makes me feel like as Uganda, we have really tried our best to boost up on the internet age for us to be at least competitive on the East African community. We may not be globally there yet, or even continental-wise, but I'm very confident and so sure that the ICT ministry is doing whatever it takes that we are on top there. And it is evident the works of the ICT ministry, amongst the ministries I've seen really doing out better, is the ICT ministry.
Well, well first of all, in here with this particular clip that we've just had, the telecom experts and the United Nations Capital Development Fund announcing the launch of an open application program. I think Andrew has always been mentioning this. You've always been mentioning the fact that we have the innovators here, how the government has to support them. And with this particular application is to ease business, whereby innovators can easily access fellow innovators and then pitch in ideas and then as well try to, you know, integrate their businesses with mobile money platforms, whereby Andrew, you've started up with maybe you have your your own app that you've set up, or your own application, or you have something that you've innovated, but you're looking for a platform where you're going to push it out there to find a buyer and everything. I think this is just like, as we continue to say, the world that we are moving in is now effectively going to be driven by this space.
And now, Jeremy, you see, looking at the African perspective, because according to there is a report we did about education system in Africa, and they were talking about, like those students that graduate and go to those higher, to get jobs. And they're like, by 2030, 60% of the jobs in the continent will require for you to have computer, tech skills, in other words. And now, when I look at this, I'm trying to relate it to that aspect, pitching ideas, finding a platform. But because now this will go beyond just Uganda, and we can intercross to Nigeria. Because I want us to reach a point whereby if I leave Uganda, I go to Nigeria for to execute a certain activity, at least I can easily join in with the system, with the tech, not reaching there, and I'm like, I thought I graduated in this, but when I reach there, things are totally different, which makes my education a bit now like it's invalid at that time. So the pitching of these ideas, sharing of these ideas is going to be quite very beneficial, and most especially for the National Development Plan 3, because we look at in innovation, technology as one of the key pillars to head us to, Vision 2040, and also at the same time, however much we have the Vision 2040, there is also the African Vision, which also still looks at IT, integrating IT-related skills to that. Now, this is one, innovators out there should know what this really entails.
Because this is an open application programming interface.
Yes.
An API. So when we look at the issue to do with open application programming interface, it's more like creating or easing room for communication. It also eases business processes and offers services that can enable merchants to transact with respective customers in safe, instant and secure ways. Because at least with such platforms, you get to interact with someone you haven't met, but someone who's willing to accept your product. And ideally, when it comes to the world of innovation, there are lots of things that you want to at least market out there. Things that you want to push out to the people. Everyone is innovating by their lots of things, and that means by the look of the growth of our innovation, you've mentioned the fact that one of the key ministries that are doing a very phenomenal job,
the ICT ministry,
includes the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, because for them they believe that such an initiative will deepen financial inclusion. And the financial inclusion, I think, goes into the financial technology, the fintech and all that.
Actually, see, Joram, looking at this perspective, I've interacted with innovators for the time I've been with them. And we've always been talking about, yes, agriculture, we have advantages, backbone. But, I don't know whether people are aware that there is a new backbone that is rising in Uganda of ICT. Because the rate at which our innovations are really blossoming is very interesting, despite the fact that, of course, we need more government intervention and support. Because when you interact with most of the innovators, they tell you we need support. But now, recently, I saw a student at Makerere University who invented a device for the deaf. And I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. And despite the fact that when you interact with most of the innovators, they tell you we need support. But now, recently, I saw a student at Makerere University who invented a device for the deaf. And I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. And despite the fact that, of course, we need more government intervention and support. Because when you interact with most of the innovators, they tell you we need support. But now, recently, I saw and I was mesmerized by this. Of course, this is already existed in the developed world, but however much we may not be out there, but our rate of adaptability, and that's one thing about we Ugandans, something we're gifted at, not just in the ICT sector, but at least if we focus something in a certain line of direction, we are definitely unstoppable when it comes to executing it. And ICT, recently there is one who invented something which could, artificial incubator, in case you're a mother, not really incubator, but it could keep a baby there. You can't afford hospital bills. He invented something sort of that, and that was very revolutionary to the extent that actually this person got a seed capital of about, I think, according to the interactions I was talking to, they secured a seed fund of about $200,000. I mean, that's a lot, huge money, talking about that. So it shows you, how the different agencies are coming up. Though we've had one weakness for the past time, which I'm seeing that it's kind of actually reducing according to this. Most of the partnerships we've been seeing with incubation, with the innovation hubs, have been mainly done with NGOs, private NGOs coming from abroad. And rarely have we had interactions with government partnering with this. Of course, I'll applaud the government for the ICT hub in Nakawa. A very huge one for people who actually, if you have an idea, it's incubated there, it grows. But we needed more as compared to how we see Innovation Village and so many other scattered incubation hubs across the suburbs of the country, to make sure that we see such of this. But now, if we see this unity, telecom experts, United Nations Capital Development Fund, together with the Ministry of National ICT coming in together, I mean, that is something which is very key for the innovations in Uganda. And I believe our adaptability, and for you Ugandans who are watching, I want you to watch this country for the next 5 years. You're going to be amazed by the innovations that are really coming out, and they're going to really shock you because I believe this is something we have really put out there. By the way, when you meet these innovators, it makes you feel like developing a system is easy. The way they develop systems on a daily, and these are Ugandans developing.
No, I think everything is easy when you are looking at it from a distance, by the look of things. Anything, even business does easy. Look like it's very easy for anyone. If at all you're looking at it from, let's say, from the viewer's perspective.
Yeah,
you're just passive. You're not actively engaging in it. So I think with it is just of late. Like you've mentioned that the world is actually, we've looked a lot about agriculture, definitely, the backbone of our economy. That's a sure one. But when you look at the future being financial technology or being technology, just like President William Ruto just highlighted a few days ago, that the only solution to unemployment amongst the youth is technology.
Technology, you see that?
Is technology and, of course, ICT integrated. Because when you want to understand, the only problem that we've had in our country in the past few years is the fact that we are so bureaucratic in the way we do things, too static.
Okay.
For instance, when you go to most of the government offices, very few are picking up the use of ICT.
And by the way,
it's only NSSF that has quickly turned everything digital, and they're already into that evolution of technology. They have already evolved in regards to the new trends in the world. They're already adopting to that space. Now, the other ministries, the Ministry of ICT is setting up an innovation hub. It's already fitting into what the ministry is supposed to do. But this goes back to the fact that not only the private sector needs to pick up and engage in these discussions, but the government has to champion the use of ICT even in different government bodies, and that's because at the end of the day, it's so shocking in our age today that when you go to let's say an institution, a private institution, there is nowhere you're going to write manually. The registration is done.
It's by the way, in private institutions. Yeah, very true.
And then when you go to government, you will find a very huge book, which no one has time to even, it's just something that is ceremonial, I should say. It's just put up there for a receptionist.
It's religious.
It's supposed to be, It's more like we are following a dogma or something.
Yes.
That this is how things are supposed to be.
Exactly.
It's a doctrine. So when you look at the same kind of situation, you write a name, and you go to NSSF. There is no book you're going to see to write at the office, at the headquarters. It is everything is integrated with the use of computers. But when you go to some certain government offices, you wonder why they have all those files kept, files that are actually worn out. Most of them are
50, some even at 20 years.
20 years old. No one has information in there. And at the end of the day, we tend to lose this kind of information because we do not want to integrate it into systems. And I think the Uganda Revenue Authority is another government body that is already picking up the integration. So when we're looking at the future of ICT as the future of the economy, the way we start is we have to set infrastructures that will support, and then also make sure that we activate from different grounds, and only in schools, offices and everything. We have to push for it, because if you're to look at these initiatives, for example, the application programming interface, the API here, which was launched, it's going to be granting innovators easy and secure online access to integrate their businesses. Now, if you want to pitch an idea to a business person, it is better that when that business person has knowledge about such platforms, or is also using ICT to drive business. So it is kind of the same situation.
Okay, very interesting insight in there. I don't know what you think. What is the future of this country? Do you really think we have a potential and an advantage in agriculture? Well, maybe that's something for you to think about. I won't give you an opinion on that, but just according to the look of things, you get to realize that the information communication seems to be something that is quite trendy, and globally, and also on the African continent at the same time. Well, 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and now we're coming to the end of the show. Smart Means Business today on the 11th of May, Thursday, 2023, and of course, great things from all the way we started till this time around. With all this delivery of the content. Well, don't forget channel 320 on GoTV and channel 372 on DSTV, as you'll be able to get us at all at any part of the region you'll be located at, and on our social media handles at Smart24 TV. That's on Twitter, Smart24 TV official. That is on Facebook, and Smart24.tv. And that's on our website, where you can get us. You can get further details, further insights regarding a given story. But also Smart24 TV Live on YouTube. You can stream us at any part of the world you'll be at, as we deliver to you this business content, both local and on the international perspective. Have been Andrew Barije with Joram Paul Sonko. You can follow me at Andrew Barije 94 and at Joram Paul Sonko, as you can engage us regarding the different discussions that we talk about on Smart Means Business. And what is that you feel like we should throw more highlight on? Well, we shall be waiting for your comments in there. Well, for this time around, till tomorrow, go and be productive for the day. A very good morning.